Hey guys, welcome to the coffee comment.
Hello.
This is Mecca.
You know your girl Ryan.
Um, we're going to be talking about Ryan. It's the start of our dating series, 4 parts. So this is part 1 of the dating series, and today we're going to be talking about can exes be friends? Can you be friends with your ex? I'm going to open the floor to you, Ryan, today.
Okay. Well, you know me. I Google. At first I wasn't, but Mecca was like, asked me, did I do anything like that? I was like, no, man. But I did. I personally think that depending on how the breakup was with your ex, you can remain friends with that ex. Is it hard? Yes. Have I done it? The only ex that I am, I guess, friends with would be the father of my kids. So I have no choice to be, I guess, friends there because we are locked together for life. So I would say that would be the only friend or ex that is my friend. So, yeah, that's my personal take on that. But like I said, I did Google some things, and AskMen.com had some things that you should do in regards to, I guess, preparing yourself or for the friendship, or even if you want this friendship with your ex, which I thought was, pretty obvious things, but some people not so much. But the first one, they said you should need what they call the X detox, which I think is really, really good. They said that you should have at least 4 to 6 months of just no communication or of any sorts, blocking them on your social medias, which is also good because if you think about it, dumping or getting dumped or breaking up and then 2 seconds later, you're texting each other talking about, well, why don't we just try to be friends? It's not going to happen right then because you still have those emotions still running there. So you'll be, depending on the person, one person is going to get caught up more so than the other. So that's why they say that you should have this detox, which I think is a good, healthy thing to do, to have. Yes, no, maybe so, Mecca?
I don't think so. I don't think that exes could be friends.
But in regards to the detox, do you think that's a healthy thing if you were going to decide to be or thinking about being friends? Do you think the silence, the 4 to 6 months of detox?
I think I think it is healthy, but I don't know, personally for me, and as Tamar would say on the reel when she was on the reel, it's like, no. It's like, after that, I'm done. What do we have to talk about? I was in a relationship before this one, and I was in a relationship for 4 years, and it took me a good 3 years before me and him actually could speak without me being super mad, thinking about the past, thinking about what he did or what he said, and the last thing that happened when we broke up. So, I mean, I think the detox is good, but it depends on where your headspace is during the detox and after. I feel like if, like you were saying, if the feeling is mutual and if you're mature and then you're an adult, fine. Y'all work that out. Y'all don't have no issues, but I feel like the detox should be longer than 4 months if it's either was a super bad relationship or if it was a long-term relationship. I personally feel that a lot of people, from what I see and observe, I feel like a lot of people that quickly become friends with their exes are people who have not been together for a long time. I feel like if we was together for a couple of months, didn't work out, hey, if we was best friends at one point and it just didn't work out, but we've only been dating for a couple of months or maybe a year, then fine. But if it's on some years type thing, I feel like you need more months, depending on, your feelings.
Well, like I said, it just depends on how the breakup was. If it was like a mutual breakup, I think you can instantly go back into that friendship because you both agreed that the relationship wasn't good, but I still appreciate you and want you around as my friend. So in that case, I think that it can work. But if the relationship, not necessarily a bad breakup, but one person fell out of love or out of like or whatever with that other person, and the person who is still having those feelings trying to get back into a relationship with them is not going to work. Not for them. They have to have that detox. So the second thing that they had on there is, did you get proper closure? In my opinion on proper closure, it's like you don't necessarily need to have the closure. I mean, it depends on how the breakup was. I'm like, if that person said, their piece and you said your piece and that was it, let it go. But then there's some people who like to drag out closures, like accept the fact that the relationship is over. Just stop trying to find things to bring up to have this quote unquote closure. I do think closure is good, but in some cases, depending on your relationship, you may not get that closure. So you're just going to have that closure with yourself. Just looking at yourself, mentally, physically, and being like, the relationship is over. He did his part. She did, I did my part, or whatever your relationship setup is. And that's just going to have to be your closure. How do you feel about the closure?
I don't know.
Do you think that it's needed, or should you just be like, okay?
I feel like it depends on the situation. Sometimes it's just like a death, like when somebody dies and y'all was beefing, and then you go, oh my God, I never got to say what I wanted. I just feel like it depends on the relationship. If it's really no point of talking to this person because you've already cried, you've already told them how you felt during the breakup or whatever the case is, and they just sitting there looking like a dead fucking wall, just sitting there. It's like you talking to a wall anyway. So I mean, going back after you already feel better and after you already healed, just to go back to talk to them and tell them, I'm getting this closure, for me, it's still gonna be like talking to a wall, because a person, they're going to be who they want to be, and they're going to say and think the way that they're going to say and think, and they're not going to change. Well, for the most part, people stay themselves. They don't change. They don't try to see your side, or they don't try to see the bigger picture of it.
I think that at that point, that's just that you're going to have that closure for yourself. Because if you're not going to agree on, I guess, the mutual breakup or the mutual closure, you're just going to have to accept it. You know what? This is what it is. Regardless if you agree with it or not, this is my closure. This is what I need to do to move on. So, I mean, you got to take it however, and it's like, it really just depends on the person that you're dealing with. Sometimes you're dealing with an immature person,
right,
that can't verbalize or correctly, or just sit there, like you said, blank face, looking at you like that it's going into one ear and out the other. It's just
because I mean, if you're like any regular female, well, or at least the females that I know, during that breakup, you're gonna get drunk, or you're gonna be up midnight crying,
coming up,
and exactly, you're gonna be calling the phone 5 and 10 times, cursing them out because you didn't say everything you had to say, or sending long paragraphs. And what are they gonna do? They're not gonna say anything. All they're gonna say is, "I'm sorry I hurt you," and that's it. And it's just gonna be, so it's like, in that whole process, after you feel better, I don't feel like you need to say any closure, because you already said what you had to say throughout the process of being broken up with 10 times, and through drunk calls and text messages, and
also the closure is also
through
good.
Friends and mamas and cousins and everything like that. So there's nothing else that you need to say.
And also the closure is good. I mean, I don't know if you think it's good or bad. Is usually that's when you get all the truth that comes out. That's when you get everything they want to tell you, like why we can't be friends or why the relationship ended. So, I mean, once again, like I said, it depends on the person that you're dealing with, but I think closure can be a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the person that you're in a relationship with. The third thing that Ask Men, thank you very much, was it toxic or empowering? The empowering part, I don't know too many people. I guess the empowering part would be, learning something from the relationship. That to me is the most empowering part. If you learn something from the relationship that you can, use or help you in your next relationship, I guess that'll be the empowering part. Toxic, if it was a toxic relationship, I just don't even understand why you trying to be friends, because it's like, if you couldn't get along in your relationship, you ain't gonna get along as a friend, because it's not like your emotions or your verbiage is gonna change because we friends now. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna cuss you out no more because we are friends now, we BFFs. It's gonna be the
I'm
same
gonna curse
thing.
you out even more because you're being an asshole, because you really just sitting here trying to put on that switch like we just cool, like we just met 2 weeks ago. Like, no, I know all of your shit. I know all of your BS, so I'm gonna curse you out even more because...
Hence why, if it was a toxic relationship, you don't need to be friends, because it's not gonna work, because I'm still pissed off relationship shit now. Right. And then it's not gonna work into your friendship. So yeah, if your relationship was toxic ending, it's not gonna work. Just like my ex, our relationship was toxic, and then we had good moments. Will I ever be friends with my ex? Hell no. Hell no. There are times in my heart that if I saw him on the street, I might run him over with my Forerunner. But I don't. I got Jesus. So I don't. So that's why me and him could never be friends. But, that's just me. Other people can. But if it's toxic, it's not
like I
work.
said, it takes years. Like, my ex, I used to be so angry with him, so mad at his family members and things like that, because like I said, it's years in, so you get deeply invested with the friends, mutual friends and family and all that crap. And now it's like, okay, I'm cool. Like, Will and Jada and Sheree, they didn't just become friends overnight, but the only reason why, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they could have been better women and grown-ass women and decided, okay, I could be friends with you. But what also helped that relationship was they have a kid. So they had to be better people, and they had to be grown-ups and put their big adult pants on and be like, okay, I need to be sensible now. Now it's not about me and you, it's about a third person. But as far as two single people, I feel like it's going to take some time. I never see nobody just turn around and turn that switch on and off and be like, oh, we together, oh, we friends. I've never seen that ever.
It does. And even if you did see it, it's not going to work. You're going to get... One person in this relationship is going to get hurt because there's one person in this relationship that has deeper feelings than the other one. So it's not going to work. Number 4 was there a deal breaker detail? Like, what was it that killed the relationship initially? That just, I guess, reverts or goes back into 3. I'm like, was it a toxic relationship, or was it...
I feel like that's hard to determine because, like I said, you can't find that stuff. You don't really know somebody until maybe up into a year, and then you don't know people until you start to meet the people that they surround themselves with.
Because in the first 6 months is nothing but
exactly
honeymoon.
Or when nowadays, in 2016, moving in with each other. So you don't really know somebody until you meet the parents, you meet the best friends, you meet the co-workers or whoever they surround themselves with. So I can't say that deal breaker is just, if you don't like somebody from something they said just through the dating stage, and dating as in not courtship. We use dating very lightly. Courtship is when you're in a relationship and when you're exclusive. Dating is when you are with multiple people. So I feel like
courting can also be you're dating multiple people. So courting is just like, I'm just courting you. I'm trying to get you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not courting.
But it's still all
it just depends. It depends on the type of person that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So
it's different stages. But tonight was a very short show, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments on Facebook and Instagram. and see you next week.